To start our toy truck now, we need to go and open or make each component individually. The first component we're going to make is the wheel. So I'll come over here first. You can click on this button or this button, it doesn't matter. I like to click on this button. This gives me lots of options of many different types of drawing files. There's also different standards that have been loaded on this version. What we're looking for though is the standard millimeter inventor part. That's the .ipt. That's the component we want. Be careful. Some students go to the sheet metal millimeter IBT by mistake. And obviously it's not what we want. We want the standard millimeter IBT. Click on that, press OK. Straight away you'll see that your screen changes. There's many changes happen. It puts us straight into a two-dimensional environment. So you've got a 2D and a 3D environment. The way the program works, you draw in 2D first and then you make things 3D. You can then modify the 3D. So what we're going to do is make a wheel, which will be a circle. So I'm going to click on circle, bring my mouse over to the dot in the middle of the screen. That is a 0, 0 position, and you can see that it comes up with a 0, 0 position just to the bottom right of the cursor. You always must start everything from that 0, 0 position. Click there and you can drag it out. Now I didn't worry about the size then, because in Inventor you put an object down first and then you size it. Sort of opposite to AutoCAD. So now I'm going to size it, so I'll come up to Dimension, click on my circle and drag this out. I can now double click on my dimension and it will give me a box to import an actual dimension. I'm going to make my wheel 35 millimeters. Now that's a diameter. So I then press the tick and it resizes it for me. Now that I've got that two-dimensional shape made, I need to go back to 3 dimensions. So over here I can tick Finish Sketch, and you can see straight away it's gone into an isometric view. Notice down the bottom here, your XYZ shows you that you've gone into a 3-dimensional view as well. So from here I want to extrude it or make this 2D into 3D. Extrude lets us do that. I press Extrude and it automatically picked the profile. The profile was that startup shape. Doesn't always do that, but in this case there was only one profile, so it just picked the first one. It's also popped up this screen here and it's asking lots of questions. The only thing we need to worry about right now is how wide that is, the wheel. And I'm going to make the wheel 25 millimeters. So I'll type in there 25 and press OK. The next step, I need to put a hole in the middle that we can put a thread through. So again, I need to start with a two-dimensional shape. So I'm going to come over here and now I'm going to create a sketch, a 2D sketch on a surface. So I click on Create 2D Sketch, come over to my object, click on that surface. Notice it highlighted itself. And look what happened. We get that sketch tools up again. I'm going to come over to Circle. I'm going to let it snap to the center, click and drag it out. I can now come over and finish the sketch. I don't want to do anything else at the moment, just finish the sketch. Now I want to put a hole in there, because in this program when I go and put a hole in, it gives me the options to put threads as well. So where the center is, I'm going to click right on the center. I need to tell it now to go right through the whole object. I need to tell it that there's going to be a thread on it, and that's here, tapped hole. I need to tell it also that the thread type we're going to use is a metric thread. The thread is going to be full depth. And it's going to be an M8 thread, metric 8mm thread. So here I'm going down to an 8mm size. You do have a choice of pitches as well. We'll just go for the standard 1.25 pitch. You could change from right to left handed if you wanted to. And I'll press OK here, and that will put the thread in for me. The last thing I'm going to do is put a nice fillet on the outside corners of my wheel. So I'm going to press fillet, and I'm going to click on the two edges that I want to do something to. I moused over them first, and then I could click on those edges. Now the size that I want to change here is, I want to change that to 3mm radius. And I can either press apply there, or I could press the tick here, it doesn't matter, it does the same thing. And that's the finish of my wheel. Obviously I'll now save it. You'll notice that it's already going into the toy truck folder, and I can call it part wheel. Save.